Grand Rising, guys. I hope all is well. It is a beautiful Tuesday. I'm just sitting outside listening to the roosters crowing and the birds are chirping. The birds are not chirping so much just yet, but I did hear a rabbit rustling in the woods back there. And I've seen a couple of lizards pass by. I don't know where they're going, but they must have something important to do. And I wonder, are they caught? There's no way that they're caught in the rat race, Like these lizards are not like, I have to hurry up because I have to be at work at 8. So we're going to have to get what we need and go because we have somewhere to be. Absolutely not. Nature does not work in that way. And society has really changed people from what nature is and what nature is about to becoming what they think they should be. So everybody's caught up in this rat race of being a certain place at a certain time, doing a certain thing. And if you notice, most people who are like caught up in the rat race that have to be at a certain place at a certain time to do a certain thing are usually hating the whole idea of it. They bombard themselves with so much bullshit to keep themselves busy. And then they complain about all the stuff that they have to do. But they're the ones that put all the stuff on their plate. Whew. To be free of that is so amazing. I just think like, so I get to sit here. Now, the only reason why I'm on a time schedule is because I still have children who go to school. However, they will not be doing this next year. And so now, next year, they will rise and they will not be stuck in that hurry up, wait for the bus, get to school, study for the test, do the homework. Thinking about it, it's like the same thing like with a job. We work a job and we are like trying to climb the ladder of success. And the boss or the CEO or the supervisor or whatever kind of becomes the god of the place, right? Because he's like, oh, you're like so worried about like displeasing the, upsetting the boss or getting reprimanded for just doing what you feel like doing in that moment. And you can't like do you because you'll get in trouble. And school sets you up for that same lifestyle because, oh, I have to study for a test. Oh, I have to do this homework because my God, my teacher, my supervisor, my boss, is going to be mad. I'll get in trouble. And then, the law works that way as well. So you can't just really just do what you want to do in life because, shoot, the police are going to see. Like, I'm going to get in trouble, reprimanded, sent to jail, ticketed, So school sets our children up for the 9 to 5. I remember watching George Carlin. George Carlin was great. And I remember him saying, the American dream, you have to be asleep to believe it. Because we are simply just trained to be smart enough to run the machines, but not smart enough or have the skills or have the confidence in ourselves to leave and venture out on our own, because it's scary to venture out on your own, especially if you've been caught up in this whole rat race your entire life. So when I first left the job, and I, ventured out on my own, it was a huge transition for myself. Yes, I have my own business, and yes, I'm making, I'm financially able to provide for myself and my family, but it was the mental. It was a very emotional, like I had to get myself back on track, because it took a good month for me to say, oh my gosh, did I make the right decision? What if it doesn't work out? What if it does? Like, what if it does? And it did. And so I had to regroup after that. And so now it's been, it's been almost a year that I have been on my own. And I'm seeing how everything is so lovely on this side, that I am my own supervisor and my own boss, and I don't have to answer to anyone. And I took my power back. And so I can't wait for the new school year, where, as well, I'm saying school year, but it's not even a school year. There won't be any more school years, because we'll be building the passions of the children on a daily basis. They will only have to do what they want to do, really, And that's so beautiful. I really don't want them to be caught up in such a bullshit, because it's all really bullshit. And then sometimes I think to myself, well, if you wouldn't have left the job, you might have had a new this or a new that. And I stop and I reflect, and I say to myself, Sarah, a new what? What is it that you wanted new? A new car? Like, what's wrong with the car you have? It runs. It gets you to all your deliveries. Like, it has air if you need air, and I don't even use air in the car. Like, I'm not even like an air conditioned person. I really don't like the air condition. Like, I just kind of like, natural air or whatever. I much prefer to be hot than to be cold. But it has a heater if I need it. And, it has a horn if I need to blow it. But if I would have stayed for a new car, then my children would have had to stay at school. Because, well, mom can't leave her job. She has a new car to pay for. So you can't stay home with us? And we have to get caught up in the cycle as well, because you have a new car to pay for? And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I need organic fruit and vegetables more than I need a new car. I will fix this car forever to be able to provide that. And, our grandmas used to stay home. And then something shifted in the society, whereas some kind of movement, whereas women wanted to be independent, and they wanted to leave the home and send their children away to strangers, so that they too could buy new things. And that's kind of where the family dynamic fell apart, I think, is that women, instead of being mothers and wives and homemakers, and they became independent. Do you know what that means? Independent. And then, well, I don't need you because I can get my own. And something got lost along the way. And my mother did the best. My parents did the best they could with what they had, okay? But my grandmother stayed home and raised beautiful children. And then my mother went off to work, and I did the most terrible things while my mother was off at work. Like, there was nobody there to watch me. There was nobody there to guide me. My mother was guiding other people at her job. And on the back end, there wasn't much, it was like a rat race. So I remember Mom would, hurry on to work, get me out the door so she could hurry up and get to work. And you have to get to school, and I have to go to work. I'm going to be late for work. And then scurrying on to work, spending all of her day there. And then she would hurry to the grocery store, pick up all she could in the time that she had, hurry up and prepare a meal while we, family time turned into, well, I have this to prepare for tomorrow, and I have this to prepare for tomorrow, and it's a big day tomorrow, so I have all this work to do that I have to cram because I didn't have enough time in my day. So, Mom, you took your job home with you now? So not only were you not there all day while I was over there being raised by somebody else, now you're now doing something for your off the clock. You're not even being paid for it, but because you didn't have enough time in your work day, you're now at home doing, instead of family time, you're doing work stuff. You got to be quiet. You got to go watch TV. So the school raised me during the day, and then the TV raised me at night. And no wonder, absolutely no wonder that I went searching for something else that I just I wasn't receiving. And shout out to my mom for working so hard. Like, she was at a job for 40 years, and she worked herself to the top, and she was, the executive of everything that, so the hard work and work ethic was beautiful. As a child, I wish I would have had that time with her. Maybe things would have been different. Maybe I wouldn't have maybe we were just meant to butt heads so I could heal some traumas and learn from all of this. And I like to think that that's what it is. That I had to go through all this so that I could come to a place where I could recognize it, and then I could break the cycle of it all. Because I don't want to be so far away from my children throughout the day that somebody else has to raise them. Because I can tell you what, my children come back talking about things that have nothing to do with school. And it is mind-blowing that I'm like, this is what you're spending 8 hours learning? Because, geez, it's almost, it's quite scary. Especially being at the 12, 13-year-old age. It's super scary, because those children are, they're placed in a room with people from all walks of life, and all walks of life is great. But you're also learning from their parents and what they've been through and their traumas and their things that sometimes, or from what I can tell by some of the things that they're coming back with, like, that is not something that I would have ever told you. Like, that's not something, like, I'm answering questions about things that have no place in a 12-year-old's mind. And where does it come from? The socialization at school? Like, yikes. So, I woke up at 3 today. I've been waking up around the 4 o'clock mark, but the energies must be really, really high. The energies must be super, I feel them. The energy is super high because I feel the energy, and I am waking up at now 3 again. So I get to, brew my teas and have some time to appreciate just being still and, planning out a day of really, I don't even really plan out a day. If I have deliveries to do, that's but, if I make a pit stop along the way, that's fine too. And there's nobody that's going to reprimand me for it. And that's really all I'm trying to do is, break that cycle with my children. And I just want to be, out and about with them. I don't want somebody else to raise them. I want to raise them. Because shit, like, I deserve that. They deserve that. Like, when they get home in the afternoons, I'm home. And I understand this is not for everybody. Obviously, I salute all the single moms that are like busting their ass to try to put food on the table for their children. And, I get that. I get it. But if I have the opportunity to be home with them, I feel that is the best option. Like, that is the best. Like, nobody gets to take that away from me, because I don't need a new car. Like, I need to be home for my children. Like, I don't, and half the time, you know what? Oh, a frog. He was just happy. Yes, I love him. Half the time, caught up in the rat race, you're just buying things to say you bought them, because kind of like that's what we've been told to do. So that's all I got. And I hope everybody has a beautiful day. And yeah, bonus.